Welcome back. Lieutenant Colonel Marco Marino is a former senior intelligence officer in the Israel Defense Forces and an expert on the threats coming from Israel's northern border. But there is another side to this warrior's work. During his time in the IDF, he established a field hospital for wounded Syrians fleeing over the border and into Israel. But his work didn't stop when he retired from the IDF. It was only just beginning. He's formed an incredible partnership with Christians to bring help to some of the world's most desperate people. Take a look. You're an expert on Islam, on the Arab world, on the Middle East. It's an area you know very well, years in the IDF, top officer. But there's another side to the story. Tell us about Operation Good Neighbor, how it started, how you were involved, and what it is.
We took the binoculars and we saw hundreds of groups, armed group. Who is who? What are their intention towards Israel? We decided to approach in another way to the locals here in the Quneitra region. We offered them humanitarian aid by supplying them medicine, food, and bringing them to Israeli hospital to get medical treatment. What's going on in Syria, people need to understand it's a genocide. It's the dangerous place on earth, Syria. Everything is happening. Children are getting butchered on a daily basis over there.
Talk also, though, Marco, about Operation Good Neighbor. Again, you didn't have to do this. The IDF didn't have to do this. There's needy people at your doorstep from an enemy nation next door. You didn't have to do this. Yeah. How's that keeping with Israeli and Jewish values, in a sense?
First of all, we have to remember that we could solve this situation in another way, in a military way. You know, this revolution started not because of us, it's their thing. We have a security fence, we have posts. We can, say whoever will approach our border, we will do our thing. But we decided to go in another way of mercy and love and compassion for those victims. You have to understand that the Israeli soldiers are risking their life on a daily basis, going to the border, taking the Syrian into Israeli hospital, and then taking them back home safe.
Yeah. And Marco, it's a dangerous thing. As you and I have been talking here the past few minutes, we've heard gunfire not too far away on the Syrian side. The conflict continues. The mercy, the compassion you're talking about brings me to Frontier Alliance International, FAI for short, a great Christian group, a Christian aid group, I guess you would say. Talk about, it's a fascinating story. Talk about how you got to know FAI and the work they're doing in Syria, courageous work.
Yes, FAI were working in Iraq before they came to Syria. And they came here to Israel and wanted to go engage the Syrian thing. And so we started to send in medical staff, doctors, nurses, paramedics, everything, inside Syria, on the ground, in a war zone, under very bad conditions, helping the locals. For me as a warrior, it was very interesting as an experience to meet another kind of a warrior. Yeah. A warrior that doesn't carry a gun. He carry a Bible. And with pure heart and a lot of faith, willing to risk themselves. Remember, our teams are young boys and girls, the age of 20, 25, without any military experience, going into a war zone, can be killed every day, sleeping on the ground, eating bad food, getting a shower in cold water. People need to understand it's not a resort here, but they're doing it because they have faith. They love Israel, they bless Israel, they serve Jesus, and they want to love the Muslims. We want to show the Muslims that Jews and Christians are very, human beings.
Yeah, and these are people who are coming, FAI in the middle of the night, Marco, as you said, on mules, crossing into the most dangerous war zone on the planet. Says a lot. And there's actually the only group, I believe, or one of the only groups at least, with actual, as you said, boots on the ground inside Syria treating people.
FAI is the only NGO existing on earth working inside Syria through the Israeli-Syrian border.
That's pretty impressive. And the IDF has taken notice, right, of what FAI is doing?
For sure, for sure. I pretty much know that the IDF is really appreciated what's going on with FAI because they know they are not soldiers. And they see the same things that I see. These young people going inside and helping. And in a way, helping Israel to achieve her goals by gaining the hearts of mind of people in the Quneitra region. Because if a child will not go to school, he will go to the mosque. He will go to the mosque, he will hear the imam say, hey, you need to blow up yourself in New York, in Times Square. But he will say, no, it's wrong because I know Christians and Jews, they are good people. They helped me when I needed it.
You know, it's incredible to see how God is raising people like Marco up to shine a light in the darkness. You can find out more about Frontier Alliance International and the work they're doing in Syria by visiting their website, which you see there on your screen. Well, up next, my final thoughts featuring some more sights and sounds from that Israel Defense Forces live fire drill on the Golan Heights. Stick around.